So, Coach, what you would say, though, you would recommend this for every Caribbean island and all the different parts, because we have viewers here. I know I have a coach here viewing from Africa right now, and Europe continent, and Asia. We have people log on right now on our set every week when we have this project. And would you recommend, you know, events like these, or recommend that you get your kids into college, because it's a two-pronged. It's not just soccer, but it's education. It's the human part of it you're dealing with here too, to really help these kids. And you're changing generations to coach.
You are. Some of them are the first. They're the first to graduate in their family. A family of maybe, you know, grandfathers, great grandfather. I think they're the first one to go through college, and it's a proud moment for them. But also, I'm saying that if a child, we have to emphasize to them, yeah, you're playing football. Yes, yeah, you're a good footballer. Everybody in the community is bigging you up and say, oh, she can play or he can play, and they forget the educational side. So when a child coming out and offer a scholarship, there's nothing for them to. They can't go because they did not graduate from high school, right? Yes, you don't have to have 6 and 7 and 8 and 10 subjects. Not everyone has that ability to have all ones and to make it to the Division 1. But because the better players, and this might be controversial on here, but I'm saying from my experience, the better players are from the lower socioeconomic group.
Yes.
Right? That's a fact. In every part of the world, you go to Brazil, they're from their favelas. You go to anywhere, that's it. Very few here are millionaires coming down. Right? Their parents are hard workers, 2 jobs, domestic workers, working in a different environment where they can get hand to mouth. And if you can get a scholarship that is paid for because of your ability, and your mom and your dad struggled and allow you to go play, to get where you are, and you get a scholarship that takes away all that financial burden from them to get a scholarship, I think that's something that we should reiterate with these kids. You have a talent, but it's not just the talent alone. You have to be a hard worker in school. We didn't say you have to be a doctor or a lawyer, but you can be well off by playing and getting an education. And it's something that we have to put as to underpin everything that we're doing.
Yes. What advice would you give to parents too for you know, kids who are in the transition process with colleges and universities? What advice would you want to give to their parents, to parents who are viewing? Because we have a lot of them here. Any advice you would want to give to them in the process, seeing that you've been in the process a long time with getting kids ready and kids getting themselves organized? What information you would want to lend to the parents, so the parent could say, okay, yes, this is something I overlooked. This is something I need to really think about.
From the moment you recognize and start hearing people tell you about your child is a good player, from the moment you recognize that, and you see everywhere they go, he's a star on the team. Don't let it cloud your imagination. No, don't let it cloud what you should be doing. Start preparing that child as, okay, you're a good player. I'm allowing you to play, but you have to pay attention to your schoolwork. I'm not into the type of thing that punish the kid. You're not playing the game. You're not going to play, right? Because you did your homework. I'm against that. That's me personally. I think we should encourage it, because that's what's going to take them out of where they are, and maybe turn around and help you as a parent. The university fees in the Caribbean up here, not many people, when you go 6th form, you can't even afford 6th form, much less university. Yes. And if you have a child that can transition from a 5th form and into a school in the US, a university in the US, that you're not paying for, I don't know what the cost of the university now is, 40,000 US, I don't know, maybe more. But if you don't have to pay for that child's university education, he's playing a game that he loves, he's getting a good education, and he's going to come home one day or stay and have a good job, right? And take you, maybe move you from where you are into a better environment. You know, it might sound simplistic, but this is a pathway. This is really the pathway. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen too. I've been there maybe hundreds of kids that come through the system, boys and girls. And sometimes they don't have to be this excellent player, you know.
Yes.
They can be proficient. They won't be star in their team.
Right.
But they will play and they're respectful, they have discipline, they train hard, and the coach gets a good feeling from them. I can work with that child. And they bring them because they know what they can do. Because especially the junior colleges, you can get away at a certain level. Division 1, you know, is a higher level play. So why not? You're still getting an education here, and he's there for 2 years, get his associate and then her associate and move up and get another 2 year under their belt. So my advice is to ensure to pay attention to the schoolwork, right? Right now, I know in Jamaica, you have to have an average of to play, I think 45%, you know, average to play for the school. That's not much, but a lot of times they go off and not paying attention because they're so caught up in being a star.
Right.
And everywhere they play, that's my baller, you know, that's my baller. And forget that, hey, next year, people looking at you, already they're looking at you, you know, because you're playing on TV. And with this, people can stay in a part of the world and watch you. But you send to them and say, okay, I need Anthony Roy. What is his grades like? Did he graduate from high school? No, he didn't. Right? And like we can do GED. It takes away another 2 years for you to go to a private school to get your high school diploma. By that time, they don't want you. You're 22. You know, no school wants you again. So that's a little advice I would give you. It's a long thing, but I think we should now as parents start think about it. Start. How am I going to pay for him to go to college, right? Or we're going to airfare. We are going to get money for the service fee. We are going to get money for him to give him pocket money to buy his little toiletries. You know, all those things we have to start thinking about, Coach.
But Coach, do you also think we need to really, you know, educate the coaches in the Caribbean regions, the academies, give them the tools that they need, so kids when they are 11 and 12, you start, you know, bringing them up in a structure with balance with their schoolwork, balance with their soccer, and you are more a mentor to these kids, because these kids are not going to be, and they're not going to be kids forever. Right? And you don't, for me too, when you in my academy, I already start thinking when you start getting 18 and 19 and 20, and you all the way 10 and 11, I am already seeing you at 18, 19 years old. I am running an academy in the Caribbean. What am I doing to get you ready for when you reach 18 or 19 years old? These are things, Coach, I think we need to really have discussions with the coaches in the Caribbean region and any part of the world that you may log in, because you really, you know, you want these kids to go on and do great things with their lives.
Definitely, and you touch on a good point there about the coaches, because they have the players oftentimes more longer than the parents. You know, spend more time with the coaches. Coaches will tell the child not to drink milk, and they go home, and the person who bear them said drink milk, and said no, the coach said I mustn't this. So the coaches have more authority sometimes than the parents. Influence. If this is the case, right? The coaches should ensure that they're responsible enough to get information about the players, and sometimes forget about, I don't want this player to leave me. I've had I look at that side now. I've had a coach already, had an excellent goalkeeper, but her grades were poor, very, very poor. And a college reached out to me for her because she was playing for my club at the time. And I decided to send her to school to get her grades up a bit so she could take the scholarship. And the coaches were mad at me from the school that she attended because I'm taking their keeper, who they repeated 2 years to play for their school with no education because they wanted to win. Right? Now, those are the coaches that I want to scratch out of the list, to scratch them out of the list completely. because they are not for the child's development. I'm not, so you have to make a decision. Do I make this youngster repeat fifth form because I want him to play? Or do I let him decide, no, we can take him away and go on scholarship, and he might be injured the next year. You never know. So we have to know, the coaches should have the information from the college coaches and say, this is what you need, mom, this is what you need. Your son by next year, your son is going to be graduated from high school. Start preparing from now, because people are asking me about him already. Don't wait until a appointed time the mother starts searching, have to send to her family overseas or go to our boss and ask them to help. And these things can be done. If the mother knows that she can save $10 every week, she start doing that. And she can come to her, go to the club or the school and say, Johnny, getting a scholarship. I have 500,000 out. I need another 100,000. Can you help me? But at least I start saving. But these are things that we need to do, to start doing. And as I say, I'm coming from a stage where people just hit them. Service fee, the fee for to go get the visa application, fee for visa, airfare, right? The money for incidentals at the college, right? That's what they get. That's what they get at the time, So we have to do that. We have to make sure we do. Those are things that we have to shore up on and ensure that we are okay.
Yes. I think the parents has a very important role to play in this too. When you when you get your kid into an academy or soccer team from a young age, these are some of the things you want to discuss with the coaches. You want to find out, coach, okay, I'm bringing my kid to play soccer with you, my boy or my girl to play soccer with your academy, and what they are the age of 10 or 11. What is the plan do you have for my kids for the next 8 or 7 years? What do you see in the future? It has to have a means to end in terms of what it is you get in mind. Is it just that you want the kid to just play soccer? What is your plan? And I think parents really need to start to do this with their kids, because these kids have so much potential. They need to be molded and shaped and guided, and opportunities for them to know that there are opportunities there.
Yeah. And it's sometimes the child is just football they want to play, but you're there to guide them. I've had a situation where I've had this good player recently, and the parents were sort of eminent and about University of the West Indies. They said, but if they go to university, why would I want to pay $3 million for university education here when I can get it free of what the youngster was born with, the girl was born with, God-given talent, and I can get them to be a part of a program that I know in 4 years is free to me, and then I say free, talking about the actual cost of the education, not but you have to find $100 to send for her and that type of thing. That does something that you have to, if they were local, you'd have to find out anyhow, and much more. So the choice has to be made early. How are we going to approach, but the parents themselves, if they're involved in the child's life, they will see that when they go to the games, they know that this kid, their child, is the number one or the star. What am I going to do with him? I can use myself as an example. When I was playing, everybody thought I was a good player and asked me questions why I'm not playing for Jamaica. But I got myself in a different way. I went and I got married early and I got a child early, and nobody was there to guide me. My father wasn't there as such. My poor mother was there, right, alone. She didn't have the time. She was working so hard to send me to school, and she didn't have time. She was a dressmaker. So I can testify on what I went through, and I didn't have the opportunity. I could have gotten a scholarship, but I didn't have anybody there to really say, okay, Vin, this is what you should be doing, and this is how it goes. Because in those early days, I played for my school in 1967, right? And in those days, the scholarships weren't as many as now. But I think I was a good enough player that could have gotten a scholarship, right? But there was no guide. I came home, dropped my bag and went and played football and came back. I never had any direction to say, oh, you can achieve this, you can achieve that. Never. So here I am, a coach. Just, I never went and played college boy. I never did all of that.
Right.
You know, but that's what God have wanted for me, really. But I'm just using me as an example.
Example. Yes. Different parts we travel to get where we are. And I think Coach is very much interesting that some of the information that you passed on there, Coach, you know, because it has me really thinking in terms of the coaches from Caribbean and around the world who are listening in and have academies. I think coaches, you can also reach out to me, and I'll give you my WhatsApp number. It's 954-380-4829, 954-380-4829. And we have our WhatsApp group, AR Student Athlete Soccer Scholarship Academy. And we work with a number of coaches and academy throughout the Caribbean region, in Europe and different parts of the world who make contact with us, and we guide them through the process. It's not just about getting kids into school. It's about guiding the parents, sharing information, and educating them about the process so you don't get any surprises when you get there, right? Versus some of the combines that might happen in certain places where you pay money and you go a combine, and some of the coaches don't give you the information that you need, where you need to develop, you know, what are some of the good traits that you have on the soccer field, what needs to be improved, and also to share the information, what is required, student visa, you know, the things like that. Read the fine prints in terms of what is being offered to you in terms of the scholarship. If you're getting books, schools don't buy books for you. There's a lot of kids going to school, people sending them, and Coach, I have a lot of kids going to school, and I did not help them because I did not know them at that time. And somehow they get my number, Coach, and they call and say, Coach Roy, I'm in school, but I'm having this issue or that issue. And I say, okay, what is the issue I'm having? And they would tell me some of the things. And I'm saying, so who got you into the school? And they tell me, okay, XY coach got me into the school. I said, did they share this information with you? Well, no, Coach. They never shared this with me. So this is a surprise to me. And this is what I'm saying to coaches, because we have a lot of coaches long in here. I think it's your responsibility and the parents' responsibility to really educate the kids, get them involved in the different groups. So like, for instance, our group, and I have to put in a plug for that because we share information. It's not just getting you into school. Like, for instance, I have discussions too. I have a young man that I spoke to yesterday. He's living in South Carolina, and I played soccer back with Alvin Corney, coach in school, Coach Alvin. I know you might be locked down here. And I played with Speedy, with his dad, many moons ago. So I was telling this kid, I say, I know your father when we were teens. He said, whoa. Yeah, I said, well, you better than your dad do, right? But the kid is bright, right? The kid has a 4.4 GPA. So he's up there, very bright kid. And I start to speak to him about different things about school to guide him through the business. Now, mind you, he's in the US, right? Not saying you should know more when you're in the US, but I was there on the phone and he was asking questions. I was guiding him, Coach, through the process of school and some of the things that he did not realize, Coach, that he was qualified for. As a US citizen, there are certain things in certain states that you're qualified for that when you get a scholarship, you can apply to for that, and you would get certain amount of finances to help you with your schooling. Right. As a resident and a citizen. So these are information we would be able to share. Like, for instance, there are groups too. If you are an international student too, and you come from a certain background that your family don't have that kind of finances, there are some schools that have not just the scholarship, but they have certain funds put aside for international kids who are at a disadvantage. They have these kind of stuff, parents and coaches, but it's our job to really do research. It's not alakazam and it happens. You know, you got to get that information. Guys, if you have any questions on the social media platform, please feel free to type your questions now. We will take your questions. And, for Coach Vin to answer some of the questions too. I'm watching the Jamaican national team play, and I know you guys are going to go all the way. I know, Coach, you're tweaking and you're adjusting still, and you're right there up in the top of the table. And what you see for the future for this team, Coach?
Well, as a coach, you want to see World Cup. That's it. But I go one stage at a time. We just came off 2 games, that we won. So the first thing is to concentrate on top in the group. Only one team comes out of the group to advance to the real playoffs. So that's what I'm looking at, you know. Just to win those 2 games, go to the next round where we can start now concentrating on the team that we were playing then. Yes. So I don't look past that. I look past it in a way that that's where I want to be, but not past the teams that I'm playing against. Yes. I will be playing against, I should say.
Interesting. And how would you compare the competition, you know, this round of qualifying versus maybe the round before? Are you seeing, because I know now a lot of these countries now have a number of student athletes in their team now. It's no longer, you know, you from St. Vincent and your 22 is from St. Vincent.
Yeah, Bermuda, even Grenada now. Everybody is as if I might make a bold statement and say Jamaica, as that Bermuda said, they're following the model of Jamaica.
Yes.
Where they're bringing in all these overseas players. It's a little bit of a, what should I say? I kind of have a problem sometimes with all these foreigners coming in.
Right.
Not that they're not, I try to choose my words carefully, because I don't want it to be, let me tell you what I don't want the influx of overseas players to destroy the base of the local development.
Okay.
So I always say 15-year-old program shouldn't have 15 overseas players. I think there should be a limit that our local players are given an opportunity to develop, because we depend on scholarships. An overseas player, if truth be told, a youngster from the US can walk into a college easier than our players in the Caribbean. Yes. I have no problem with bringing in overseas players. I'm just saying that we have to do it carefully. At what age do we have an influx? As we say, well, we want to win, but what are we offering our young ladies and young boys? They can't get scholarships. They are the ones that we need. And if you look at my team, is all basically overseas players, but a lot of them came to the Jamaican system.
Yes, I understand.
So we can't call them overseas again. At what point you throw them out? So I mean, the number 1 player for us, it came through. I had her from she was 14, and she came through the club system, go to college, and now she's playing. She's the captain of the team. Should I say she's considered an overseas player? So we shouldn't call her. So you have to be very careful how we approach it. But in saying that, ensure that the local base is being developed.
Very, very much important. Would you not say too, Coach Vin, that also too, we think we really need to get the powers that be throughout the different Caribbean regions to start getting involved in you know, in terms of student athletes? Would you not say that, you know, we think we need to get the powers that be, like governments and the private sector, the good corporate citizens, and them to start getting involved in this? Because it not just helped in terms of the national teams, it also helped in terms of the community. Seeing role models coming out of your community and going to school abroad and bringing them back home in the community to be able to show that, look, I came out of this community and now I'm studying, getting myself together, so the younger ones can look up at them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see, I put it this way. The school's past students association, yes, I think should get really involved in setting aside funds for the same players that bring glory to their school.
Yes,
to assist them with scholarships. Some do. I'm not saying they don't. Some do. They just don't say it, but some do. But it should be something that's a standard. That, you know, I know that I'm having 3 players coming out of my Manning Cup or the competitions in the high school competition in Trinidad or wherever. Right. And this kid makes won the competition. This is from my school. He's bringing glory to the name of my alma mater. Mm-hmm. And I know his mother can't afford it, his father can't afford it. How can we help this child? And that conversation should take place early. Yes. Right? You have coaches, college coaches also who would assist you. For instance, the child might not be able to matriculate at Division 1 level, but the coach themselves of that school would have friends and colleagues who will take them at the junior level with the knowledge that when after 2 years they're going to come over to them. So there's that collaboration between junior colleges and Division 2 and Division 1. You know, so all those things are possible. But the bottom line is getting these youngsters that opportunity to be able to go to a college, find the airfare, find the service fee, find the application fee for. Those are not easy funding. If you look at Jamaica's economy, is 145 to 1 US.
Yes.
So you multiply that out for some parents that $1 million that they're not seen in a year.
Yes.
You know, so those are things that we have to make sure we can't take it lightly.
Beautiful. And Coach Vin, we have another question here too that's asking, what advice would you give to parents whose children are interested in going to school to play soccer or student athletes abroad? Any advice we would want to give them to the parents?
I would encourage it, you know, but you must understand now you have people who offer them things, you know, have to be very careful who offer them academies overseas. And I think Jamaica has a solid base. Caribbean have a solid base. Trinidad, Jamaica, St. Lucia have a solid educational base that these kids have to work hard. I remember when I stepped into a college and I look at the algebra and the maths that they were doing, and I was 45-years old, and these kids could do it. So when we reach a certain level in our 5th form program, it matches a lot of subjects that you go on to college. So I think they should get a base. Don't send them too early, you know, because they have to be. I think you have to send them mature. It can harm them some if you don't have somebody there to stay with them. But I believe it's a good way to get kids into college, and you, for those who can't afford it, there's nothing wrong with it.
Beautiful. Any Coach Vin, we just want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. I know we run a little bit over time, but we want to thank you because the conversation was really going into depths of information, layers of information to share with our audience. Any last words you would like to leave us with, the parents and the kids in different parts of the world that is logged on, and coaches?
I would advise them right now, if they're going to be, they should, if the child is, you know, the child is good, start preparing a CV for the child. Picture, name, age, school, preferred leg, left or right foot, right? Any accolades, any championships won, have that prepared. That you a lot of us just send us, send to a coach, you know, this is a good player. What do you send to them, right? If you can get clippings, have that ready, because the child, that can go right through for the child. It will help the process. If any college coaches on here now will tell you that the first thing I'm going to ask you, do you have any clips of the youngster? Make sure you have that prepared. When people, if a person is having a combine in your country, but it's not one of those official, you know, they might have bring down 3 coaches from USA to come and look at these players. Make sure your child has all the relevant information. You can just hand it to the coach. I said, that's my child in number 8. This is his thing. And he'll have everything right there. There's grades, everything on a document. Fix up a CV. I've had players come out of the high school, captain of, and play for Jamaica. And when the time come for him to go, he didn't have anything, nothing on himself. You know, so that's my advice. Make sure you have documented things on your player. Make sure you have a picture on there. Make sure you have, you know, all the pertinent information that has to do with his career. And when somebody calls you, say, hey, I have it, I'll email you this, and that's it.
Coach Vin, it was just an honor and a pleasure to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for sharing with us, spending some time with us from your busy schedule, to be with us this evening, to share some information as we continue on a weekly basis, bringing managers, national team managers, collegiate coaches, professional players, student athletes, you know, to share the information. And this is information that you know, it's difficult to come by. We're trying to bring this to you so you can get it. To those of you who would want to share the information, you can go up on my Facebook page, Anthony Roy, it's there. You can go up on our YouTube page, AR Student Athlete Soccer Scholarship Academy. on YouTube. You're going to see all the videos that we do. Some 100 to 200 videos in terms of different guests that we had before. And you could go in there to get the information. We're going to bring on someone, Shanice, pretty soon. She teaches the SATs. So you can gather information about the SATs. And next week, we should have Coach Rob with us, collegiate coach too, to talk about his program to on the set as we continue every week bringing you information. Coach Vin, thank you so much again. We want to wish you much success. We want to bless our brothers and sisters out in Jamaica, the success, and they continue, hoping to see them flying the flag of Jamaica again in the World Cup. And guys, once again, thank you so much for joining us and giving us some of your time, because we know you have a lot of things that you could have been doing, but you spend this time with us. And for that, we appreciate it. We want to thank our staff too, who are behind the scenes that you don't usually see. They're there working with us. Those of you who are logged on all the different social media sites, thank you so much for joining us too. And you guys have a wonderful evening. Please be safe and take care of yourself. Coach Vin, blessings to you again, and thank you a million. And we talk soon.
My pleasure. My pleasure.